Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amal Mukhtar. This is a special coverage, and we're focusing today on the statements delivered by U.S. President Donald Trump. Very important press release and statements on Wednesday, as the U.S. President said that the strikes against Iran had not finalized yet and predicted that oil prices would return back to its pre-war levels, and that war is going to end, and within days there is going to be negotiations with the Iranians. And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Mr. Mohamed Salah, political analyst. Good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Amal, and I'd like to say good evening to you and all of your followers at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Salah, how did you follow the statements by U.S. President Donald Trump in which he said that the U.S. strikes against Iran had not finalized yet? How did you follow his statements?
Well, I would like to say that Mr. President Trump is used to use media and his war as a weapon on this war. And we have to understand well that this current war has a clear or important word that could describe the whole situation from the beginning to the end, which is ambiguity. We do not have any clear situation. We do not have any clear vision. We do not have any clear targets. At the same time, Mr. President is producing contradictory speeches, and he's telling something at the early beginning of the day. By the end of the day, he tells the opposite meaning. No one can know well what does the President Trump is intended to say. What are the information he wants to convey throughout the speech literally? I think that it's a kind of pressure while the negotiation process is taking part now, and he's ruling or he's practicing some pushes against or some presses against the Iranian side at the same time.
You mean there are a certain kind of contradictions. Also, U.S. President said that the oil price predicted that the oil prices would return back to its pre-war levels, which is one of the very important points. Of course, the oil prices and the leap that the high prices of the oil due to the Israeli-U.S. war on Iran. How did you follow this specific point? Because, of course, the prices is being a catastrophe, and in addition to the effect of the trade, the global trade by the closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
What I would like to say is a kind. I cannot take this. I cannot take this speech or cannot take these ideas out of the current situation, of the current negotiation situation that is happening now between Iran and America. And we'll have to know well that President Trump has lots of problems on his internal level in the United States, and he has lots of problems that have comes out from this non-strategical war, and he has lots of faults and lots of problems. Comes out from the economic levels and the economic effects of closing Strait of Hormuz. And I think at the same time he has already used the highest level of power at 6 weeks of war. He has already used the highest level of power by using aircraft, by using missiles. I think all what he had, all the weapons he had, traditional weapons especially, he used it already used it. So what's coming now by this speech, I think, is playing with the card of invasion or landing, and he's giving indicators that he's thinking in landing in order to press on the Iranian side to accept his accept his offer on the negotiations. He finally is looking for a certain target or a certain objective that will end the war by his vision,
Yes.
or by collecting his benefits from this war in general.
Yes, Mr. Salah, the U.S. President also said that if Tehran behaves in a smart way, everything will end quickly. What can you understand from this, or what can we understand from this sentence?
President Trump said the same thing at the early beginning of the war. Does the war ended quickly, as he said at the very early beginning? We have to know well that it's a kind of psychological war by using media, by using speeches, and this is the only mean of President Trump, or by only mean of him. If he got his speech today, at the morning of today, you will find him is talking that he is nearly to reach a compromise with Iran, and we are very near to have a close to this war. We are very near from the end of this war. So I think that he is looking this participant. He already used this, and he proved that he do not have a plan. He do not have a vision. He do not have a strategic goal about this war. Even he started saying that he is starting nuclear system of Iran. Then he moved into ballistic missiles. Now he is talking about Strait of Hormuz. It's a kind of chaos in the Middle East, no more. It's a kind of sharing chaos, or distributing chaos among the Middle East, or between the Middle East states in general.
Yes.
But if you asked me about the targets or the objectives of President Trump, he needs to control the oil resources on Iran. He needs to control the Strait of Hormuz. He needs to rule the Iran throughout a Muppet system, or a Muppet regime, in order to prevent the relations between Iran and China, in light of his most important and strategic war between America and China in the highest level. So
yes.
I can't say that President Trump has says the truth. I can't say that he has a potential on this war, or I can't say that we have to listen more carefully to his words, because he is not telling the truth.
Yes, Mr. Salah, the U.S. President also said that without the U.S. military intervention, Iran would have nuclear weapons. How do you see this sentence? Is it a kind of justification of the Israeli-U.S. war on Iran?
I think it's a kind of giving or delivering indicators that he is thinking carefully on occupation, or in landing, and he will have landing troops on the Iranians' land, and is threatening them by this action, because all the world now knows well that President Trump is fear from. Or he had a lot of fears regarding the landing or occupation process. By telling this speech, he tries to say that he has no fears from being occupation of Iran, or going forward to more chaos, going forward to more actions and to more levels of this war. And this is the most important, as I think. But at the same time, we have to know well that both times, whether America, whether Iran, got exhausted. They do not have enough power or enough ambitious to continue fighting each other's land.
Yes.
And this will lead them finally to the peace, or to the end of this war, to the peace treatment, or peace process. I think this will be the final destination of this war, finally in the end.
Yes, Mr. Salah, also U.S. President said that the United States have the ability to destruct and strike all the Iranian nuclear stations in only 1 hour. How did you follow this threatening?
a kind of exaggeration, sure, it's a kind of exaggeration that have been used a lot of times by President Trump. Trump said that at the early beginning of the war, but now we have, he said that we will end the war in few days. Now we have 2 months, and we haven't reached any end for this war. He said that the Iranian regime will collapse after a few bombing or a few bumps, but this thing hasn't happened. He said also that the Iranians will react against the regime and will go to revolution against the Iranian regime, and this also don't happen. It's a kind of exaggeration. I think that President Trump don't have a static or don't have a right or well-based vision regarding what is going or what is doing now in Iran. He do not have any future plan regarding what will happen. He don't have any objectives. He don't have anything to do on the land regarding this war. So I think it's a kind of exaggeration, a kind of threatening Iran, kind of threatening the whole world by the reasons or by the effect of closing Strait of Hormuz in order to attain or in order to reach his goals, which is controlling oil resources and controlling the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes, Mr. Salah, the U.S. President said that China had agreed, or that he made sure that China is not going to send any weapons to its close partner, as he described Iran, close partner Iran, and that he have received personal assurances from leader Xi Jinping. How do you follow this statement and the timing of this statement? Why is he may want to make sure or afraid that there would be any help or support from China to Iran?
Well, I do not agree with this statement, and I think that China knows well that China is the real targeted person or the real targeted entity by this war. And they know well that the American president is deprived them from oil resources in order to control the Chinese economy in general. And they know well also that by falling Iranian regime or by controlling Iran, they will lose a very important and a very crucial ally like Iran. But at the same time, they have denied that they have sent Iran or we have sent Iran any weapons. I think China is telling the truth by side, but under the table they have used or they have sent lots of weapons or lots of information, lots of intelligence information, especially. But this could happen under the umbrella of the public of China, not the government of China. They say that humanitarian aids or giving this under the umbrella of aids or delivering aids to the Iranians on this war. So I'd like to say that the problems and the struggle and the biggest struggle on the world now is between China and the United States. And this is the highest level of the world war that we are living in now, or are following now. Giving this statement tells that that the President Trump wants to calm down his people. He wants to tell them that everything is under control. He wants to give them, I think, a fake ideas or a fake view regarding what's happening on the ground now. I think China, and not only China, but Russia also, Russia and China can't leave Iranian regime to collapse. I think if that happened, that the Russians and the Chinese will pay the cost of this action.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Mr. Mohamed Salah, political analyst. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of our special coverage for this hour. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.